welcome to Celebrate Holliston. Right next door is Aronian, and it's great to be here today for another year. I remember my fondest memories of last year was how short the parades were and how easy it was to get down to Gold Park. And but lo and behold, I knew that it was a good thing, not a bad thing, but and just seeing all the familiar faces of Holliston and knowing how great this town is, and I want to say thank you. Have a good day.
All right, my best, fondest memories of Holliston? Boy, there's a million of them. Of course, working with HCAT is certainly one of them. That's been great. I've had a lot of fun working their shows. I've enjoyed all the various committees I've been on. This town is great. We've made some great progress. I understand we're studying sewers again, and I swore after the third time that I wouldn't get involved, but here I am getting involved again. Anyway, we're here for a great day for Celebrate Holliston. Hope you all can come out. Enjoy seeing you all, and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Joanne Halbert. I spend a lot of time wandering around Holliston looking for bits of history. And as you well know, 2024 is going to be our 300th anniversary here in Holliston. So we are continuing to poke around Holliston to find bits of history today. Now, what we are proposing to do is to gather together stories about Holliston, little stories, big stories, any kind of stories, especially about what has happened to Holliston since about the 1950s on. And there has been a lot of history since that time span. And yes, even though you think it's only a sliver of Holliston's history, there's a lot going on during those years, those decades in the history of this town. For instance, what about that airport that they were going to build here? Oh, yeah. Then how about all of the conservation land that we have gathered up since the 1950s and 60s? This is something that Holliston has done over the years that is sort of a silent sort of a history. We have a lot of conservation land. You should go out and look at it. We have the rail trail. We have lots of other stories. And not only that, we are looking for small personal stories and memories of living in Holliston. You don't have to write a huge epic. We're looking for 50 words, 100 words, maybe even 200 words if you really get fancy. We're looking for artwork. We're looking for poetry. Already we have received several entries from people around Holliston, and we're looking to see how many more people we can get to send us stories. So stop by the booth or catch up with us around town. It could be me that you see wandering around, or Bobby Blair or Mary Greendale. All three of us are out there looking for Holliston's stories.
How you doing? I'm Mike Rossini. I grew up and was born in Holliston, 1953. I'm not afraid to tell my age. They were asking what the fondest memories were in this town back and then. Probably, I'd say the dairy. If anybody remembers it, it was where Bertucci's is. And that was my parents. Grew up there. Hung around in the parking lot on the weekends with our friends and had some fun. And Holliston was a small town back then. Everybody knew everybody, and it was fun. It was just a good time. Trying to think of some of the other, everybody knew everybody, including the police officers knew everybody. So it was quiet. Everybody got along, and went to high school. My father actually grew up in Holliston, so we'll go back a generation before me, and he remembered going to the Andrews School, which was gone now. And you walk around here now, and Paul Saunders told me, he said you got to go to the HCAP booth to share the memories in Holliston. And you walk around. I walked from my house to Central Street to here, and it took me a while to find somebody I knew. It's all new people. I'm sure we're still here, but we're just hiding in the background. But it's always been a good town, and I don't know what else to say, but thank you very much.
Hi everybody, I'm Karen Deinhardt here from Holliston. I'm here to support Washington Street Players. We're hoping that you will come out for our show on October 14th, 15th, 21st, and 22nd in Holliston Town Hall. The show we're doing this time is Our Town by Thornton Wilder. I think you've all heard of that show. I hope you come out for this classic play. We have a great cast of some veteran actors and some new actors from Holliston and Medway. We really hope you come out and enjoy the show. It's WashingtonStreetPlayers.org is where you can get the tickets, and the show starts at 8 p.m. on those dates. Thanks so much. I've lived in Holliston for over 30 years, and I guess my earliest memories of Holliston is, first of all, we lived in Framingham and didn't know even where Holliston was. Never heard of it. So one day we were driving through town and there was a craft fair that I think was held by the Newcomers Club. And so we went there and had a great time, and we noticed like what a wonderful community this seemed to be. So we were just married at the time and thought, well, this would be a great place to raise kids. So when a year or two later, when we were looking for houses, we started looking in Holliston, and we knew that it was a great school system. We started looking for churches in Holliston, wound up at the Congregational Church, which is our favorite place to be. And then I started a few years after that, started at Washington Street Players. So Holliston has been everything that we've dreamed of for a town. Our kids went through the school system, and we love it here.
Some of my first memories of Holliston. I remember the first time I came to Holliston, I was visiting my future husband and his father. They lived on Washington Street, and one of my first memories is stopping at Walter's Dairy to have lunch. Other memories of Holliston is my children growing up here, wonderful experiences, good school system. I worked in the French immersion. I have very good memories of working with the schools. I have very good memories of meeting so many wonderful people. It's just a very good place to raise your children. And my husband, of course, and his family were very involved in so many town causes. Remember when the school was dedicated to my father-in-law. That was a very special day. And this today is a very special day for me, too. It's great of Celebrate Holliston to name me a Citizen of the Year. So thank you. Wonderful town. So glad my husband came from Holliston, and he loved the town too. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ann Jay, and some of my fondest and oldest memories of Holliston are when I first moved here when my children were babies, and discovering all of the wonderful town treasures we have, such as the library, Lake Winthrop, and of course, HCAT TV.
I am a third-generation family of Fisk's General Store. And so I have many memories of going in all year round to get great crafts and great toys. I had a very funny memory recently. I brought my two grandsons in, ages 8 and 6, and I walked in and I said to them what I always said to my daughter, which was, look with your eyes, not with your hands. And John raised his head from the register and said, I remember when you used to say that to your daughter. So I just thought that that was a riot. But I have another quick story, which is when the Wilder gift shop closed and the family sold all the artifacts that had something to do with it, I purchased the weather vane that was on the top of the building. So the weather vane from the Wilder shop actually now resides in the 02054 zip code right over the town line. So I have a piece of Holliston history right across the town line in Millis. And I'm Loring Barnes, and a longtime friend and visitor to Holliston, and hoping to be your next state rep.
Hi, I'm Deborah Moore, and one of my favorite memories living in Holliston was in 1986 when the golf course was going to be sold to a developer, and I initiated a grassroots movement for the town to purchase the golf course, and it was successful. And since then, we've done so many improvements up there. The golf course committee has done a wonderful job building a new clubhouse, practice range, and every time we have a great improvement, it really makes me a happy person to see everyone out there enjoying it. The high school teams that come, and to think of what could have happened to that property, and now everyone gets to enjoy it, whether you're a golfer, a cross-country skier, or you just want to go up there to dine. Another great memory I have in Holliston is the America in Bloom Symposium, when people from all over the country came to Holliston for that event. And one of the most memorable parts of it was when we were down here at Goodwill Park under a tent, and the Holliston High School marching band came down the street and welcomed all the people from all over the country. There were tears in their eyes, never mind Holliston residents' eyes that were there. And they thought it was a scene from The Music Man. And that will always be something that I cherish.
My favorite place in Holliston is Fisk's because it has a lot of stuffed animals.
My favorite place is Goodwill Park is because you get to like play on the playground and everything.
My favorite place is probably Coffee Haven because I love the food there.
I went to Holliston Community Children's Center. It's like a child care place. I went there preschool and after school.
Celebrate Holliston.
Probably like going to Celebrate Holliston, but like when I was younger, and like being in the parade. Probably like Lake Winthrop because that's what I went to like camp there when I was little.
My favorite place to go to is probably the park, which is right here, and the candy store.
Fisk's.
Yeah, what do you do there?
I like to buy a lot of candy. The library because I love reading. My favorite place in Holliston is the soccer fields because you get to play soccer there a lot.
Oh yes, Goodwill, because of course all my friends are here and it is very fun to play with my friends in this vicinity.
I'd say my favorite place to go in Holliston would probably be Coffee Haven. It's the best after school place, and I don't know, everyone goes there, so it's just like so much fun.
My favorite memory is probably Celebrate Holliston, like past years. My favorite place to go to is probably Coffee Haven, because just fun after school.
My favorite memory of Holliston is probably like the yearly like fair that we go to, and favorite place to go to is probably like here because like we go here after school a lot with all of our friends and it's really fun.
My oldest memory of Holliston was from about 2 years ago when I first moved here, and that was walking into the high school for the first time and like meeting all my friends. And my favorite place to be is probably Coffee Haven, and that's because it's just like the good environment and all of that stuff, and like being with my friends and stuff. Yeah.
I remember living in my neighborhood and just hanging out with the neighbors that are my age. And then when I got older, all the areas my parents split. My dad lives downtown. I have a bunch of really good memories from the downtown area.
My last memory of in Holliston, NY is going to the high school football game. Fisk's.
And why?
Because it has fidgets.
My oldest memory in Holliston is probably going to Celebrate Holliston when I was younger, having fun, jumping in the bouncy houses, and getting all the candy in the bags full of goodies. And my favorite place to go to in Holliston is probably Coffee Haven because they have really good bagels and really good food.
My favorite place to go in Holliston is probably either Dunkin' or Coffee Haven because they have very good drinks and food. And my oldest memory in Holliston is probably playing soccer on this field as a little kid because
This is where we'd have our soccer games, and it's fun.
Well, I've lived in Holliston my entire life, so I would say just my oldest memory in general, because I've lived in Holliston, is me with my dog, my first dog. I was probably like 3 years old, and it was literally just me and my dad feeding it. And I don't know why, but it's just like my oldest memory I have. And favorite place to go in Holliston would probably be the high school, I guess. I go there every day, and I don't know, like it's just like really fun. I always see my friends there and everything, so yeah.
My favorite or my oldest memory in Holliston was like when we just moved here. I like went to the playground with my parents, and that's like all I can remember. And then my like favorite place to go might be like the trails in the woods, cause like I'm a big mountain biker. You know, I shred the gnar there. You know, so yeah.
My favorite place to go, well, my biggest memory is probably going to my first ever cheer game. And it was in summer, and we had tons of water slides. That was very fun. My oldest memory in Holliston was when I first moved here, and that was last year. I was 9 years old, and I was going to my new school, and I felt like uncomfortable, but at the same time I felt fine because I had a really good friend with me, and her name is Kaya. And then later that day I became really good friends with Nayara, and yeah, that's technically my oldest memory. And my favorite place in Holliston is probably this park because it's really fun. When I come here, I normally find like 5 of my friends from school, and yeah, it's just really fun.
My favorite memory when I first moved to Holliston was that we had a lovely road that we could ride our bikes on over on Norland Street.
And growing up on Norland Street, when I was in high school around 1994, they had the carnival at the middle school. And my parents let my best friend and I walk home from the carnival at 11 o'clock at night after the fireworks. So yeah, it was a good time. We had a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Hi, it's James Arena DeRosa, and I've been asked about my fondest memory of Holliston, and it does involve Holliston Day, which is a great celebration. So nice to be back here after COVID, so everyone's having a great day. But I still remember, I have 2 sons, Anthony and Alessandro, and they used to have a bucket truck that would take you way up high above the trees. A little scary for a dad, but my little boy wanted to do it, so we did that. And of course, Lena Arena DeRosa, who helps run Citizen of the Year, and congrats to them. She's down there saying, what's happening to you guys? You're going to be okay. But it was kind of cool to see the whole array of Holliston Day and this wonderful community that we all live in. So I would say that's probably my favorite. Of course, I'm looking at the baseball field thinking of coaching my kids in Little League as well.
Hi there, we're here from the post office. We just wanted to share some information about the services we're offering lately, as well as the hiring that we're doing if anybody's interested in a new career or position in the Postal Service.
I'm Cheryl from I'm the postmaster of Holliston. We have a few positions open in town. If anyone is interested, they can reach me at 429-1336 Monday through Friday, or you can stop in any day and talk to us.
My favorite place is Fisk's, the Fisk store, because there's a lot of toys there, and I like their toys. And my oldest memory is when I first moved here. I was very new. I didn't know anything.
My favorite moment in Holliston was when me and my friends were walking after school to Coffee Haven, because it was just really special to me. And we had a lot of fun, and yeah, it was just really fun for me. And then my favorite place to go in Holliston is Fisk's General Store, because they are so cool. They have all the things you can imagine. It's really cool. So that's why I like Holliston so much, just because of those 2 things. My favorite memory, my oldest memory in Holliston, was probably first time I went to cheer practice. It was really fun,
And I just like met a whole bunch of people, and I was like really young. I was in like first or second or kindergarten. It's really old. I don't even remember how old I was. And I don't know, it's like I've been doing cheer since I was like really young till now. And I don't know, it's just really fun. And then my favorite place in Holliston to go to is probably like, I really like doing the parade, which is today, because like you get to go on a float with like the cheer, like all the cheer squads, and it's just like really fun. And then after you get to come to like the carnival or like celebration, you get to celebrate Holliston, and then if you're lucky like us, you get to be on TV.
Probably like the little like run on the rail trail with all the little kids when I would do that, and I would like get really tired and like cry at the end of it.
And your favorite place to go to?
Oh, in Holliston?
Yeah.
Oh, I like Tabletop because it has really good pizza.
My fondest memory is walking in the parade when I was a Girl Scout, and my favorite place is Stoddard Park, because I like to hang out with my friends there.
My favorite place to go in Holliston is Goodwill Park, and well, cause it's a park and it's really fun, and it's like the first park I've ever gone to in Holliston. My favorite place to go in Holliston, it's Stoddard Park. Because it's fun and it has a splash pad.
My fondest memory here in Holliston is the track races that they used to have little kids run at the high school, because I used to come in first. And my favorite place, it would probably be Stoddard Park, because I like to play volleyball and swim in the lake.
My fondest memory of Holliston is running the Tim's Trot every year, because I think it's a good opportunity to see everybody. And my favorite place in Holliston is Goodwill Park, because it's a good place to come with a lot to do.
One of my fondest memories was probably going to the park in Camp Potoma as a child, because it was just a really fun experience. It was something that I looked forward to every year as a child. And then probably my favorite place in Holliston, I would say, is the Holliston Grill. It's because almost every year I went with my mom at a little Holliston day, and that was probably the best part of the day. Got a nice grilled cheese sandwich. Very nice.
I think my fondest memory in Holliston is playing at like the Miller Playground with my friends when I was little, because that was when I first moved to Holliston, and I have like all my friends is where I met them there, so that's like my favorite memory. And my favorite place to go in Holliston is probably Fisk's, because it just reminds me like too when I first came to Holliston and I went there with my friends, and it just like gives me like nostalgia going there.
Hi, my name is Kenny Priest, and most of everybody knows I'm the campus supervisor at Holliston High School and CBS Athletics. And one of the best things that I remember of Holliston was about 26 years ago when my wife and I, we had Henry's Studios, which was on Main Street at the time. Now I believe it's a clock shop towards that. And they did our engagement and wedding photos, which we are still proud to talk to Rich Powers and show him that we are still together this day. Everybody enjoy, have a great time here at the Holliston Days, and we look forward to seeing everybody again next year. Thanks, everyone.
So I'd say my oldest favorite memory of Holliston is when we were just buying our house, and we were waiting for an inspection to the inspector to get through the house. And so my wife and I, we went down to the Superette, bought some sandwiches, and then we asked around where there was a park, because at the time we didn't realize that it was all park. We found Potoma Park, and we walked around, and we had a picnic lunch with my daughter at the time, and it was just a wonderful day, and really helped solidify our view that Holliston was a great place to raise a family.
So my grandmother, who actually just passed away this past Sunday, she lived on High Street for 65 years. Trying to do that math in my head on the spot. Actually, might have been longer, might have about 70 years. So Since I was a kid, I used to go over to my grandmother's house for Christmas, and so my oldest memories are going to see her and spend time with her every Christmas and then holidays. And so I've been coming to Holliston since I was little tiny guy. And then I moved here and went to school here and loved it, and came back when I got older. So I guess my oldest memory is seeing my grandparents on High Street.
My favorite place in Holliston has to be Gilfley Art and Framing. It's the best shop in town. And I think that my favorite memory is walking from middle school to tabletop and getting ice cream and pizza there and throwing snowballs and having fun with the kids.
Favorite memory in Holliston? Mostly just hanging out at your house. You guys have an awesome yard right next to the high school, and we can go and play on that low ropes course over there and walk the dogs around the school. It's a great area to hang out. So.
Hey, how are you? My name is Michael Ibrahim. I'm a resident here. I've grown up here in Holliston, spent my whole life here. I think my fondest memory of this town is when I was young, I was able just to get on my bicycle and ride on over to Tabletop Pizza, hang out there with my buddies, eat some pizza, and then just continue on cruising around on the sidewalks on my bicycle. It's some great memories here. And even here at this park today, I go to the tennis courts and the basketball, and it's mind-boggling how much memories I have in this town. And I love it, and I thank you all for coming today. And it's the residents of Holliston that make it such a beautiful place to live. Thank you so much.
So I'm not a native. I have to confess. I've only been here since I was 16. My family moved here when I was a junior in high school. So I graduated from Holliston High, but I didn't go to school the whole way through here. So I don't have any real memories from growing up here because I didn't. But I think some of the best memories I've had are some of the stuff that, oddly enough, having done stuff with the Historical Society for many, many years, I think some of my favorite town events are things that are associated with the Historical Society. We've done programs like the Russell's Tavern program, the 40 years of the Harvest Fair, which is a lot of work, but it's always fun, and things like being involved with the scout troops in town. Some of the things that we've done, not necessarily in Holliston, but as a result of doing things with Holliston Scouts and so forth, like climbing Mount Washington a couple of years ago. Lots of great fun. And these are things that wouldn't necessarily have done if I hadn't been a Holliston resident. So lots of good things to say about the town. Where to start, all the other things, who knows? I mean, it's a good place to live. So.
When I was in preschool and I went to Celebrate Holliston, it was great. The bouncy houses. My oldest memory is probably walking on the rail trail with my family and my brother's friends. And yeah.
What's your favorite place to go to?
My favorite place to go to is the day that Celebrate Holliston is on, and just everywhere here.
I first came here for my dance class because she teaches here, and we would come here every week to learn for our performances, and it's pretty fun.
Probably my favorite memory was when I was about 4 and I had just moved here. And I was here actually at Celebrate Holliston, and me and my friend, we were at we were down at the fire station, and we actually got to see one of the ladder trucks. One of the ladders go all the way up, and it was super cool. My favorite place, I like Goodwill actually here. It's a fun area. I walk here after school sometimes, and it's fun.
My favorite memory of Holliston is probably when we just moved here and we went to Outpost Farm, and we got pumpkins for Halloween. And my favorite place to go in Holliston is the rail trail because it's just long and it's fun to bike or run on the rail trail.
My favorite memory in Holliston is my first memory, which was eating peanut butter on my deck that I thought was super high, but it was actually like 3 feet tall when I was like tiny.
My favorite memory of Holliston is when a bunch of the firefighters came in like a cul-de-sac near in my neighborhood, and I really liked firefighters then because I was younger, and and I always want to see a fire truck, and so that's my favorite memory. And I really like Goodwill because there's a bunch of stuff to do.
One of my favorite memories when I was a kid was we used to go down to Stoddard Park to the beach, and they had these wonderful little cookout stations where you could barbecue your own food, and we all went down, the family, and swimming, and we played volleyball, and it was just a wonderful to have something like that in your own town. Not every town has their own lake, and it's so nice down there. So that's one of my favorites. And the other one was just riding my bike all over town. You know, it was the type of town where it wasn't busy like Wellesley. It was Holliston, and you could ride your bike almost anywhere and enjoy it, and I used to do that quite often too. So those are my two favorite memories.
School. School, I can learn and I can talk to my friends.
I remember biking on the rail trail and then going into the ditch near the tunnel of the like bridge. Yeah, I was like scared, so I like swerved in the ditch.
My house, it burnt down.
So when I was like really young, I would walk down to like Goodwill Park with my grandma and my brothers, and we would get like slush puppies from, what's it called? I forget what it's called. No. From the original slush puppy one, where they had a bunch of different flavors and we would mix them all. Super rat. And we would just come down and we would do that all the time, and it was really fun. And now we don't do that anymore.
I think my favorite memories was coaching the U8, the kindergarten soccer teams, and just being part of that coaching. Holliston has a great soccer program, so it was a lot of fun to get the kids involved and interested in soccer. So I think that was probably one of my favorite times.
My favorite place to go in Holliston is Celebrate Holliston. It's super fun every year. My favorite memory from Holliston is sledding in the winter down my hill. It's really fun.
My favorite memory from Holliston is like going here because it's really fun and there's a lot of things to do, and I like to hang out at Coffee Haven because there's good snacks there.
My oldest favorite memory in Holliston is when I gotta say my first day going to school, because I got to meet so many new people and just learning so many new things. My favorite place to hang out in Holliston is probably the soccer field, because I really love soccer, and there's a lot of donations that go into making those fields so perfect and good.
So if it has to be my oldest favorite memory in Holliston, then that was definitely the first day I started at Holliston High School. It was in July. It was actually the week of 4th of July, and I came in and I was the only one there because it was the week of 4th of July. And so I actually had to wander the building on my own. I had to find somebody there, and Chris Mayo happened to be there, and he was wonderful and made me feel welcome, and he set me up with my phone and computer. But the night nice thing about being the only one in the building, other than Mr. Mayo, was that I was able to wander the entire school, and I just had a smile on my face the whole time because I was so excited that this is where I was going to be working, and I couldn't wait to meet all the students coming back in the end of August. But then if I have to talk about another favorite memory, I have to say it was when my daughter, Madison, can you say hi?
Hi.
When my daughter, Maddie, came to the first fall musical at Holliston High School, and the look on her face, seeing everybody up on stage, listening to the singing, she was so excited, and I don't think that smile left her face the entire time. So that is definitely for me a very personal memory of Holliston because I got to include my family.
Hey guys, we are live at Holliston, Celebrate Holliston, and we are here maybe once a year, and I'm just here to talk about October 20th. We will be back at Mozzie and the Hoedown, and so I would like to invite these guys to come down to a Hoedown and interview me regarding the Hoedown. So come down on the 20th. Come down the next time that there's a Mozzie because it's going to be hot.
My favorite place to hang out in Holliston is probably like the high school. I live kind of close there, so I just like ride my bike down there with my friends and then just play like a little scrimmage. And then I go back home and like eat dinner probably. And that's why I love Holliston. My favorite place to be in Holliston is Fisk's because there's so many like fidgets and toys there that I like to play with.
My favorite memory of Holliston was it was a couple of years ago we did this fair and I danced in the Dancing Arts Center booth and that was just really fun. Real fun experience.
It's fun. It has better places.
My favorite memory is probably at the preschool at HCCC. It was really fun. And why is because it was just really fun. And we didn't do like a lot of schoolwork, but we did some schoolwork. But like we got to play a lot and it was really fun. I like to hang out at Coffee Haven. It's a nice place. It's just fun to hang out, and they have really good food and stuff, and smoothies.
My favorite memory is probably in kindergarten, my kindergarten year, because like preschool, like there was not that much homework, and you would meet all new friends and stuff, and yeah, it was just really fun. And then my favorite place to hang out in Holliston is probably just like around town, because like you can like see everyone and there's like you can go to all these stores and stuff, and it's just really fun.
My favorite past memory in Holliston was probably in kindergarten. I got to meet tons of new friends and tons of new people. It was very fun, and it was a first experience. My favorite place to hang out in Holliston is probably Coffee Haven with my friends. So my favorite past memory in Holliston is when everybody first welcomed me. I don't remember much because I was kind of like just a kid then, but I always remembered that everybody was so welcoming and they were all just so kind and treating me like I really belonged in Holliston. And I just love that memory because it just sticks with me and repeats. My favorite place in Holliston is probably the same as Brooklyn's. I love going to Coffee Haven with my friends and also Central Cafe.
My favorite memory in Holliston is really just doing things with my friends. I don't have a specific one, but really just doing things with my friends. And my favorite place to hang out is like walking downtown after school, like here and stuff. And yeah.
My favorite memory in Holliston is probably, I don't have a specific memory, but I love hanging out with my friends and just making new memories. And I also love going to the soccer fields. That'd probably be my favorite place.
One of my favorite places in Holliston, is probably Goodwill, because after school, like me and my friends, we always walk there, and we make a lot of like great times. and also we get a lot of good videos, and we like do silly stuff, and we make TikToks and all that. So, growing up as a kid, probably one time I was running near Fisk's and I fell on my face and I knocked one of my teeth out, which was, that was one of my favorite memories, you know?
We were we were getting ready to leave, and the teachers opened the door, and there was some animal. They thought it was cute, and then it charged at them, and then I started crying because I was 4.
My favorite memory was probably when I was little. It had just rained, and I went down to the bottom of the driveway, and I drank a puddle at the bottom of my driveway. And then my favorite place is probably the high school, because I like going to all the football games.
My favorite memory is probably getting to run around at the high school at my brother's football games and meeting a lot of new people. And my favorite place in Holliston would probably be Goodwill Park, because that's where I get to see a lot of my friends and I get to hang out.
My favorite memory, probably when at my dance group, when meeting all my friends, like Springs, that one, the one, and Bob. Those are all our nicknames. And my favorite place in Holliston is probably the soccer field in Marshall Field, because it's very fun to go play soccer there, and there's a lot of fun things to do there.
I used to go to Chamberlain Pines a lot, and then they took it down and put houses there. Very disappointing. Kind of learned how to swim there, I think. Pretty sure. If not at swim school. Now my favorite place to go in Holliston is either Coffee Haven or school, because I can do nothing at my house. Your house gets boring after a while.
I think my favorite childhood memory would be, I didn't always live in Holliston, but I think my favorite childhood memory would be I used to go to Goodwill a lot, and I really liked that because it was fun to play on the swings and stuff. Yeah, I like to go to Coffee Haven and downtown. Coffee Haven because I like Coffee Haven because I can hang out there with my friends, and I like to walk downtown with my friends too.
I'm Dan Dent, a Holliston resident for 22 years, and my first and favorite memory of coming to live in Holliston in 2000 was here in Goodwill Park. The exact thing we're doing today, Celebrate Holliston. I have 3 girls. We came every year, and we're in booze half the time for different things. It was a lot of fun. That's what I remember about Holliston most.
My favorite memory in Holliston was years back when they did the holiday stroll, and they had the snowmen and stuff hidden away in a lot of the stores. I remember running around trying to find them and marking them off. I thought that was a fun time. My favorite place in Holliston is the HHS Robotics Club classroom in HHS. That's it. Because it's a fun place. There's a lot of energy, and we get to build robots there after school. So there you go.
My favorite memory of Holliston growing up is easily filming the nature documentary with my friend Thomas on the rail trail, because that was went back in middle school. It was a project we worked on for about 2 hours, and it ultimately was only 6 minutes of footage that was viable, but it was a blast to film us just running around on the rail trail like dumb kids. And my favorite place by far is the garage in the high school we operate robotics out of, since it's just one of the most magical places of my high school experience by far.
Oh, 3 memories, or even 2 memories is hard. There are so many. But I think probably one of my very favorites was my first town meeting, sitting on these wooden slatted chairs in Upper Town Hall. And it was in the 60s, the late 60s, and the chairs had spaces between the slats. And I was wearing a dress because most women wore dresses at that time. We didn't wear pants. And I have to tell you, it was really pretty uncomfortable. You got pinched a lot. That's one of my favorites. Another favorite, and it's also town meeting, was the night that we got the money to rehab Town Hall, because so many people for so many years had been working to get Town Hall renovated. And when we got that money, it was like, it was fantastic. It was like winning the Super Bowl. And other than that, I think, I'm going to say today's a really good memory. And the reason it's a really good memory is that Celebrate Holliston is still going. Started in 1991, and it is still ticking. And it does a great job every year. And some years it's better than the previous year, and it's fabulous. So, and thank you for HCAT.